When you think of education, what typically comes to mind are reading, writing, and STEM. But what about social-emotional competencies like collaboration, adaptability, and resilience? These are mindsets and life skills that weave themselves in and out of work, school, and life. It includes the way we think about ourselves and others, and how we respond to the circumstances in which we find ourselves. We've heard people say that it's not formal education's job to teach these things. However, we see these things already being taught in educational settings in unstructured ways. Think about it. When it comes to the spectrum of social and emotional responses, the classroom and school are the richest environments to witness this. Because of that, we believe social emotional competencies could be taught through a process of guided learning. In the last decade, there's been a collection of research about the importance of social emotional learning for people. For example, a meta-analysis of 213 studies found that the standardized test scores of students improved by an average of 11 percentage points for those who participated in SEL programs. Other studies have shown that SEL helps students stay engaged, decreases emotional distress, and increases a student's overall self-efficacy, confidence, persistence, empathy, ethics, connection, and commitment to school. And as students move into careers, social-emotional competencies continue to play a role. A study of more than 2,500 United States hiring managers revealed 71% of them valuing social-emotional competencies over IQ in employees. Furthermore, 59% of employers said they wouldn't hire someone with a high IQ and low social and emotional competencies. And since the 1980s, jobs requiring at least an average or above average level of social skills have increased by 83%. In your own schools and work, most students might know their alphabets and arithmetic. But how well do people navigate the social and emotional terrain? While some might perceive IQ and SEL as oppositions, we believe they're not mutually exclusive. Together, they're what makes up a whole person. Around the United States, many schools are working towards this as SEL curricula is being implemented in the classroom. In the Fresno Unified School District, the development of a graduate profile has become the guiding principle for students to be both socially and emotionally competent, as well as college and career ready after high school. This graduate profile focuses on guiding students to become adaptable and productive problem solvers, creative and adaptable learners, digitally literate citizens, responsible and ethical decision makers, and skilled communicators and collaborators. These 5 outcomes were created by community members, educators, and industry partners to provide measurable and succinct standards that integrate academics with workplace knowledge and skills. In addition, it informs the development of course and project outcomes. Ultimately, the graduate profile outlines what our communities hope for and expect out of our students. It's meant to be the common vision that unites us in order to bring clarity, direction, and grounding, not just in education, but in our community and at home. Take, for example, the students at Duncan Polytechnical High School in Fresno Unified School District. These students have been participating in SEL curriculum directly aligned with their graduate profile. In a school year, 20 SEL lessons were given to 125 12th grade students. This program was meant to provide students with the social emotional skills and mindsets in preparation for a variety of life experiences. But did it actually do that? According to student responses, there were 16 identified skills that were learned. These can be organized into SEL clusters: self-awareness, self-management, learning strategies, ethical decision-making, social awareness, and relational skills. In a follow-up question, we asked students how they're applying it. They identified 9 areas in their life where these skills were being used. As expected, social emotional competencies are broad in abilities and can be applied in a multiplicity of contexts. Whether it's at school, work, or home, these are the skills needed to constructively navigate each environment. 2 other key insights from this program came from asking students what they believe others can improve on and what they can be better at themselves. Their responses suggest that as a collective, we could all be better at communication and collaboration, decision-making, and learning and creativity. In the world of work, college, and in our communities, these are the same topics we continually discuss as employers, educators, politicians, and citizens. The purpose of SEL is not to supplant anything, but to inform each individual about self-improvement, provide them the agency to choose to, and the tools to do it. We would be mistaken to believe that we are completely socially and emotionally competent at 17 or 30 or even 70. There is nothing in the current research suggesting that a magical age exists. But there is research indicating that the sooner you start learning these skills, the better they will be. There's nothing easy about what we're asking for. Developing the whole human is difficult, otherwise it would have been solved. But transforming education is among the first steps of possibility, and we're seeing it happen in many innovative schools like Duncan. In about 20 years, the learners of today will make the political and economic decisions of tomorrow. If we prepare them with social-emotional competencies, what do you think our workforce and communities will look like?